I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet them at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guys, I got to turn up my light here. But guys, on today's live stream, aliens, are they real? Are they fake? I see you guys debating in the comments, and I am a believer in aliens, guys. I will say this real quick before we jump into the show. I will say, if the universe or if this thing that we exist in, it really is infinite, it's an easy answer, right? If the universe is infinite, then every possibility in every variation is all happening simultaneously at the same time, which I know is crazy. I'm not an astrophysicist. Talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson. But if that is the case, it is simply a matter of fact that aliens are somewhere out there. But anyway, shout out to the Mafia. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. We got another amazing live stream for you guys tonight where we're going to be breaking down Bitcoin as it very, very boringly just goes sideways, as we've been doing for about 2 months. A little bit more than that now. Let's try not to make it 3 months, but we are seeing some things on the chart that could potentially point towards an explosion. But the question is that going to be an explosion to the upside or the downside? I'm going to try to break it down for you guys. We are starting to see a potential pattern forming here that could be calling for more upside. And with some higher time frame green dots, this wouldn't be impossible, but we obviously have to be a little bit careful. So we're going to be breaking down all that price action for you guys tonight, giving you the key levels that you need to be watching. So next time Bitcoin bounces like it did on Wednesday, you're ready. Like the Mafia who was tuning into live streams last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, we're ready for that level. We're going to give you guys those key levels so you know where Bitcoin is likely to bounce and likely to reject. So shout out to you guys. Before we get into it, don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys a free chance. Not free. I mean, I guess it is free. But gives you guys extra chances to win some free crypto. And we are going to have a pretty big giveaway this week as we have 2 weeks of giveaways to consolidate all into Friday's live stream. And I decided to add some free XRP and 3 Frankie Candles hats to that giveaway. And speaking of Frankie Candles hats, guys, hit up frankiecandlestrading.com and check out those hats. If you don't want to take a chance to win one, you can go buy one on the website. They are finally back in stock. We actually got some new colors as well, so go check that out. We also have all our deals on the website, so go check it out. And I actually do have a button here to a little call to action. Go ahead and check out. It didn't work. Okay, just go to frankiecandlestrading.com. But with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Mafia. Looking for the lungs real quick. Let's say what's up to the Mafia. Thank you all for tuning in. We got Tyler Jordan, Captain Kirk, reporting for duty. Don't worry about what this is, guys. Reporting for duty. What is going on, guys? We got Crypto Billy in the chat. Rob the Crypto Snob. Tony D flexing that wrench. I think a lot of people... Tony T said, bro, people saying no chance of aliens is crazy. It really is a simple answer for me. Like, if the universe is infinite, it is a fact, right? Because everything exists. But anyway, shout out to Tony D. Shout out to Michael B. What is going on? He says, what's good, Frankie? Dropping those Franklin emojis. I forgot about that one. That's actually one people use very rarely. They like to flash the dual wielding, guys. Anyway, shout out to Fitness First Mindset. What is going on? We got Wick's wife in the chat. Shout out to Wick's wife and Wick 589, who were just in Atlanta. We missed you guys. I'm so upset we missed you guys. I would have loved to meet up, but things get a little crazy here at Frankie Candles. But shout out to Wick 589 and his wife. What is going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. We got Santos in the chat. French Toaster dropping that Frankie Candles emoji. We got Wayne C. And as always, we got Golden. Shout out to Golden, who dropped a record amount of memberships last night. So please, for the love of God, Golden, take it easy tonight. But shout out to you, bro. We got Hamza in the chat. Says, is there another universe where Frankie Candles is a scammer? Hold on, guys. We're going to get into the charts right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. But before I pull up the charts, I do just want to say, me and Mrs. Candles were talking to the AI yesterday. We were talking to Bard or Gemini, whatever the Google one is called. And we asked it who Frankie Candles was. And it said, oh, Frankie Candles is a popular crypto trading YouTuber or whatever. And then Mrs. Candles just goes, is he a scammer? And yo, AI knows what's good. It was like, it literally knows. It's like Frankie Candles pushes risk management and responsible trading, tells everybody to do their own research. He shows no signs of being a scammer. So shout out to AI for being out there telling the truth. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. And yo, we got Market Cypher in the chat. What is going on, Market Cypher? Is that the real Market Cypher? Hold on. Is that real? I don't know if that's real. I'm going to assume it's real. Shout out to Market Cypher. Drop those Market Cypher emojis in the chat right now. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at Market Cypher and see what the heck Bitcoin is going to do next. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. And shocker. I will be honest, guys. I see you guys talking. There's the Market Cypher emojis. Drop those if you have a membership. Oh, yo, it's Nick Cypher. Okay, so it is the legit Market Cypher channel. Shout out to Nick Cypher. What is going on, brother? Good to see you in here, guys. Drop that Market Cypher emoji. And coming up at some point soon, guys, obviously we have a lot going on behind the scenes, but we are going to get back to collabs very soon. And we're going to have Nick Cypher on, and I think he's going to be able to spit some fire sauce on Market Cypher. So shout out to Nick Cypher, bro. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. And thanks for Market Cypher. Shout out to Face, too. If you guys don't know who Nick Cypher is, it is Crypto Face's brother. So, yeah, go check out his channel. as well, guys. Shout out to Nick Cypher. Like I said, we will have him on the channel coming up some point soon, as soon as we start collabs back up. Shout out to In the Moment says, bing bong, what is going on? But guys, let's go ahead and check out these charts as Bitcoin is just going sideways, guys. It is absolutely brutal here. As you know, we do this almost every day ever since we entered this range, guys. It's been 700 days. Did I really just read that as 690 days? 69 days about giggity of sideways price action, guys. This is absolutely brutal, at least for the content side of crypto. And, not too bad for the trading. It's still kind of boring trading, but we've just been going sideways. And the big question, guys, is the next move on Bitcoin going to be that big move up or that big move down? Now, things are a little bit blurry in my own personal opinion, as things are just kind of really choppy at this point. We have pretty bearish looking money flow on the higher time frames, such as the daily, such as the 2-day, with that money flow coming out. And as you guys know, I always say the money flow indicates the longer term trend. And this is just a fact of the matter, right? But where we are sitting at in the 4-year cycle right now, we could be on the cusp of that big parabolic run up on Bitcoin, as well as the altcoins, obviously. But this is what kind of adds that murkiness to the water, making it really hard to just say this is binarily bearish. As we know, I'm only going to do this one time because I know we do this every day, but there's really nothing else to look at. When you go back in time here on the 2-day, we do not spend too much time in the red with money flow. Shout out to Nick Cypher. If you're in the chat, please, for the love of God, drop some sauce of your own in the chat. What do you think is going to happen, man? I'd love to know your thoughts, even before we have you on the channel. What the heck? Are we likely to fake out here? What is your thoughts as a market cipher super expert? What is your thought process on this? Because for me, this is definitely saying binarily bearish money flow, but obviously where we are right after the halving, somewhere near where we are here in 2020, right after the halving, we really don't spend much time in the red. So we have to be aware that we could have a fake out on the money flow. And that is the last I'm going to mention this because I've said it a bazillion times, and to be quite honest with you, I'm tired of saying it, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but it is really important to realize this as you have to be aware if that fake out's going to come, right? You can't just, we're going to take this for what it's worth. Just looking at the charts, this is binarily bearish, but, you just have to understand that we are in a little bit of a weird part of the cycle here where we could fake out to the upside, but very, very simply put, I am long and short at the same time. If we get that blast to the upside and that money flow is a complete fake out, my longs from lower will completely run and continue to pay me out, and I'll just stop out of my short in profit, so that'll technically be a winning trade, and we'll just let those longs run. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to take a look at here, guys, that could be pointing towards a potential bounce. Now, it is not fully formed yet. I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with what I'm going to bring up, but as you can see here, obviously, we have broken down. Let me hide this. Let me pull off this upper range, and let me go ahead and get rid of this alert. Bada boom. But as you guys can see here, let me actually pull up the. Let me actually take a look at this from. Yeah. So as you guys can see, we are now back above our value area low of this big range, right? Now, the initial loss of this range was potentially going to be the start of a bigger move down. And in my own personal opinion, we are not necessarily out of the water yet, as we are continuing to put in lower highs here. And if we cannot get a big bounce back up to break these highs, we could just be potentially ready to put in a lower high and continue that move to the downside, targeting that next key level of support, sitting between $51,000 and $52,000. Now, I will say this. We do potentially have something forming here, and I know a lot of you guys are probably about to spot it here, but we could potentially have somewhat of an inverse head and shoulders forming with our left shoulder, our head, and our right shoulder if it decides to form. And this could be potentially the thing, right, that gives us that breakout to the upside. Now, I am obviously not just going to trade this alone. I'm very open about how I use patterns. I do take patterns into consideration, obviously, but I do not trade just based off of those, because we all know that price does not move because it's in a particular pattern. Rather, these patterns are just a way to describe price action. The price does not know it's forming a head and shoulders, right? So it's not what moves price, but more often than not, when we do form these head and shoulders, they will break to the upside, but I just want to be very clear. I will be looking at other things to anticipate that move up. It's not just going to be the pattern, but we are potentially going to form that. And if we do, guys, we could wind up seeing, this is actually very interesting. If we do wind up getting that head and shoulders, I want to show I want to bring up that measured move, right? So your neckline would be right here, and then to pull that measured move, we would pull from the neckline all the way to the deepest point in the head and shoulders, pull it to the breakout point, which obviously would depend on, when we wind up breaking out. But if you estimate this, guys, it does give you a measured move of bringing us right back up to that all-time high, closer to about $74,000. And in my opinion, if we see this form and we see everything else line up and we are indeed going to get a bounce to the upside, this could potentially be where we're going next. Now, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. We're going to go over the bearish case as well because, as you guys know, we're kind of in a mixed scenario right now where you have some bullish puzzle pieces, you have some bearish puzzle pieces, and then throw in that 4-year cycle for a little confusion, and we have a recipe for a very choppy market. But, there are some things lining up here. If we do form that head and shoulders, guys, and we do wind up getting that move up, remember, we are potentially getting accepted back into this value area. And, depending on how deep this shoulder comes down, we may slip it one last time, but we will still have an opportunity to put in a higher low to change that trend and potentially put in a higher high, which could break us out. But, if we do form that shoulder and we are back in that inside of this value area, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC. And then once you get above that POC, you're looking up towards the value area high and beyond anyway, right? So if we see that head and shoulders form and we get back inside, we are currently inside the value area, but we may slip it to make that kind of that right shoulder here. But once you get back above this volume profile, it would potentially line up for that move back to the high of the range and a potential break of the all-time high. This has kind of been the bullish case for quite some time here, right? And we now see that this pattern may wind up forming, but I do want to be very, very clear. I do not trade these patterns alone, right? So we could get this pattern, right? And if we're reading the order flow or we see money flow coming out or we see some kind of bearish signal, I'm not just going to blindly trust the inverse head and shoulders, but it would be a bullish puzzle piece technically. Now, keeping in mind, if you come up to the higher time frames, we have that 4-day green dot potentially looking to print somewhat soon here. And if we click in here, I will say this. You really zoom in, we technically have a little tick up here on money flow. Now, I wouldn't really put too much weight on that as it is not that big of a move. But, that 4-hour green dot, if it decides to print, not only would it give us that green dot, but it would also be somewhat of a savage trigger wave here as we have somewhat of an anchor wave here. Now, remember, guys, this is on the 4-day, right? So this is kind of spanning across a lot of price action. But oftentimes when you get these tight little trigger waves that are close to the zero line, this is what causes big moves to the upside. You can see right here, we also got a tight little trigger wave right here, very close to that zero line. We actually never even crossed the zero line. It's actually above the zero line. But big move to the upside. You could even just backtest this randomly. I don't know how many of these we've gotten on the 4-day, but just typically with market cipher, when you have these, when you have like a deep anchor wave and then a tight little trigger wave that's close to that zero line, that's oftentimes where you get that big move to the upside. And I literally do look at that. I'm not gonna say it out loud here on YouTube because I don't know if YouTube likes the word. But let's just pretend that you do have this deep anchor wave here. If you come down and put these little trigger waves in that are close to the zero line, oftentimes that gives you a big move, right? And then this does look like something, right? This is kind of like a handle, right? And then that handle might have like something like this that looks like a trigger, right? And then there's like usually a big thing like this. Some of them have hammers, some of them don't. Some of them have like little cylinders. You guys know what I'm saying, right? You pull that trigger and then boom, that is typically what gives you the move to the upside. And we could potentially be seeing that happen here on the 4-day time frame. Now, this is not like, oh my God, everything is super bullish. This is the most bullish sign ever. We're about to blast off. These are just the bullish puzzle pieces, but we have to remember, overall, the 2-day and the daily money flow are still somewhat sketchy, right? And on top of that, not only do you have the money flow coming out on the daily, but you also have the VWAP coming down looking for one of those red dots, which is likely to could potentially bring that money flow into a deeper red wave, right? So we absolutely 100% need a fake out on money flow here on the daily in order to get that big move to the upside. And if we do, something to look at will definitely be that head and shoulders that I just pointed out, right? For the breakout, potential retest on the neck, right? And then a break above that POC, hold this as support, and then go up to the value area high and potentially beyond, right? Where we have some other key levels of resistance. So this is basically what we're looking at, right, guys? This is, nothing really new. We are still, we're basically in the same place that we've been, or that we were yesterday, just trying to get back on top of that value area low. And, the sentiment remains the same, right? We might have a little bit of a shorter stream here because there's just really not that much to show. But as long as we remain above this value area low, and even on the deviation, right, even if we deviate below a little bit, just remember, if you get bullish confirmations down here, this is still potentially an area to look for a long position, as when we're below that value area low, we simply look at it as an undervalued price for the asset, where we look to pick it up, ride it back into the fair value, which is between the value area low and value area high, and then we like to sell it at a premium, right? So that is basically this is our key level of support, but I wouldn't be instantly panicking if we break it, because we may just be going down to form that last little right shoulder, right? And then at that point, if we get bullish confirmations, maybe we look for a fresh long entry. Like I said, I am holding my longs from lower, but we could still be looking for long entries here for a potential reclaim of that value area low. So that's what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin, guys. And for the most part, even on the weekly here, there's nothing really to take away, but that VWAP is starting to curve back up. And I will say this, right? We are, if we are on the cusp of the next parabolic bull run, I would really not want to lose this 51 to 52K level, right? Now, it's not that if we break this, I'm flipping completely bearish. But even if we do come down, guys, if we are going to follow along at all with the 4-year cycle, we are not necessarily going to anticipate, unless we get some kind of a black swan event, right? If we get, a move all the way back down here, a 62% dump, this is not typically the point in the cycle where we get that, right? And again, it's not that history has to repeat itself. It oftentimes rhymes. But, at this point, right, if I pull up the, let me pull up the cycle chart really quickly here. And let me pull up the weekly. This is not the cycle chart. Where are we? Right here. So if we pull up the cycle chart here, right? And we did this yesterday, and I think the day before. But once that halving happens, right, we had the black swan right before the halving in 2020. But then once that halving happens, guys, this is where you don't really spend that much time in the red for money flow, right? On the daily, even on the 16-hour, you only came down a little bit in the red here, but we didn't really get that much of a pullback. But on the daily and the 2-day, right, you just don't spend a lot of time in the red here, and we don't typically see massive dumps after the halving. Now, we are in a little bit of a different area right now, just because we have put in an all-time high before the halving. And on top of that, we're not expecting things to repeat exactly, but if things rhyme, who knows? There are certain things that are different about each cycle, right? In 2017, we had the blow off top. 2021, we had a double top, right? So those were slightly different things in each cycle. So the cycles do change slightly over time. And, I know a lot of people believe in the 4-year cycle, and it is really hard to deny that. But remember this, right? All of the Bitcoin bull markets and bear markets have basically tracked with traditional finance, right? So, keep that in mind, right? So with that being said, it's not typical that we get big dumps after the halving. However, we never put an all-time high in before the halving either. So maybe we get a little bit of a delayed pump, right? But typically, guys, we just really don't see dumps after the halving, right? So if we did start to see some kind of a crazy meltdown and it was not caused off a black swan event, I would start to get worried. But to be honest, on the higher time frames, let me turn off the TA here real quick. On the higher time frames, guys, we are still in bullish market structure. So nothing really we really have to get a pretty significant dump here for me to be worried. But things are just super, super, super boring right now. So simply put, still expecting that fake out, or still paying attention to the potential fake out on money flow. Not guaranteeing the fake out on money flow, but still just same sentiment as yesterday, right? We're just waiting for price to kind of hash itself out here and figure out what it wants to do. Again, if we do wind up losing this value area low, another key level that you're going to want to keep an eye on, in my opinion, once we lose this golden pocket 786, that is very likely, in my opinion, that we are going to go back down to 51 to 52K. Remember, if we pull up that visible range volume profile, you guys can see here, pretty big gap all the way down to our next high volume node. So, all that remains the same. If we do come down, we could potentially put that right shoulder in right on that golden pocket retracement for a potential reclaim of the value area low and a big pull to the upside. And then once we start breaking down below that 786, probably going to be a little bit more likely to fall through that low volume gap and then hit that next high volume node coming in right here from this area of consolidation, sitting between $51,000 and $52,000. Not 100, 52,000. But other than that, my sentiment remains just about the same. All the levels are pretty much the same. I would just pay a little extra attention here on that golden pocket if we do slip this value area low again, because I know it can get a little dicey here, when you lose the value area low. I know a lot of people are probably like, well, Frankie, should we be looking for longs, or are we losing the range? And this is where we talk about looking at money flow. But again, with money flow very likely to fake out here at this point in the cycle, you have to be careful around that as well. I cannot wait, guys, until we leave this range, because this is some of the most unpredictable price action that I've seen so far. That's a little bit of a stretch, but this is some pretty rough price action. It's super boring. It's very sideways, and this is a lot of the time this can be more painful than big dumps, right? People freak out over big dumps in the market. Oh my God, 3K incoming. Oh my God, this is so bearish. But sometimes going sideways can be more painful than a dump, right? Because at least on a dump, we're making money on the shorts, right? But when we go sideways, we're just stuck in those range trades. And then you're just constantly on edge. What is the next move for Bitcoin? Are we going to get that big move to the upside? What is going to happen next? And this could be one of the most painful parts of trading any asset, is when you're just stuck in consolidation like this. And to be honest, when I am a little bit unsure on what's going to happen, guys, I will say this. What I like to think is what would wreck the most people. And right now, I do think what would wreck the most people would be a little bit of a scare to the downside and then an absolute push to the upside, very similar to what we had happen back here, where the Bitcoin ETF was approved, right? And then it was followed by a 20% breakdown. And then this is where I entered my long position. But that 20% breakdown was scaring everybody. And everyone was like, oh my God, maybe we're getting the pre-halving dump. Oh my God, here we go, here we go. And then bing bong, right to the upside, absolutely slapping the bears in the face. And very, very simply put, this would be the best scenario to wreck the most people. Scare them out and then rip it to the next leg up, right? So in my opinion, it wouldn't be, this does, and we talked about this yesterday, guys, this area of price action really is reminding me of this area of price action, right? We just faked out to the downside, also just below that value area. It was also an inverse head and shoulders, as, freakily enough. Yeah, I mean, freakily enough, you do have some kind of a, inverse head and shoulder formation here. Your left shoulder, this is a little bit of a wonked out, right? This is more of a bull pennant. But, it is kind of like boop, 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 bing bong, right? So, kind of a very similar situation here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it winds up playing out the same way. But again, in the same way, I wouldn't be surprised to see the money flow play out. But again, in this part of the cycle, very likely for a fake out. And even here, we talked about this yesterday and the day before, because there's nothing else to talk about. Money flow faked out into the red here. And we were also saying, hey, we may be starting that part of the cycle where the fake outs into the red are likely. And sure enough, bada boom, fake out into the red, big move up. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. All key levels remain just about the same. Key level to the downside, 51 to 52K if we lose that 786. That 786 is sitting at $58,364. So this is kind of like the threshold for me. I'm willing to withstand a push down to that 786 to potentially finish that head and shoulders, that inverse head and shoulders, obviously. But other than that, we start losing that 786. My eyes are set down here, 51, 52K. And then obviously, once we get back into the value area, which I know we're already in there, but I'm saying if we slip it and we get back in, at that point, you have a very, very clear roadmap on where price will likely stick, because you have the value area, the POC, and then these other key levels. And just to give you kind of verbal call-outs for these prices, right now, the key level of support technically is the value area low, sitting at 62,243. If we lose that level and deviate below the range, the golden pocket in 786 is between $59,894 and $58,364. And then that's the last line of defense, right? We lose that. That's where I'm expecting to go down to 51 to 52K. And just for what it's worth, the daily money flow and the 2-day money flow are pointing more towards the downside. So keep that in mind. Shout out to Simano, hopefully I said that right, said XRP is a sleeping giant with few more breaths left. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, big XRP is definitely sleeping, that is for sure. And I would not be surprised, when it does pump. I am bullish on the XRP. I do think it'll pump at some point, but definitely not the most exciting price action. But hey, I always say consolidation and boring price action is much better than your favorite asset just absolutely nuking to nothing. So shout out to the XRP army. But let's see, bada boom. Let's see, bada boom. XRP in a coma. Yo, shout out to Crypto Maxi. Yeah. Hopefully it wakes up with gusto. Every time Bitcoin is falling asleep, like even when it starts to get boring is typically when she wakes up and rears her head either to the upside or the downside. So those are the key levels, guys. And again, although it is very hard to just like really call for the moves up, I would say that inverse head and shoulders could be in line with the fake out. But when things are really, really hard to kind of just call in one direction as it is right now, I just like to show you guys and walk you through how I'm handling things, right? I am still short from the POC here. See if I can pull that up. I don't know if I still have that on I don't think I still have it on the chart, but I am still short from this point of control. Bada boom. And then I am also still long from 40K and also from 51K with profits taken. So, I'm just long and short at the same time. Simply put, if price decides to rip back to the upside, I will stop out in profit. I have taken profit on this short, so I will stop out in profit. My longs, which is kind of funny to actually visualize with a position tool here, but my long from 40K will simply continue to pay me out all the way to the upside, right? So I will stop out in profit of that short. My long will continue to pay me out. This is a much bigger position than my short. And then I'm just hedged, right? I'm hedged long and short, and profits are locked in. So whatever happens, I will make money. And that's just how I'm handling things. And it's just an unfortunate, for me, right? For someone who comes on YouTube and talks about Bitcoin every single day, this is just brutal price action. So with that being said, guys, that's the plan for Bitcoin. And if you want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count up the votes and let us know which ones we're looking at. And while we are waiting for that, I will go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call. Let me take a sip of the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water here. Shout out to Nick. Said, Frankie, where what's the sentiment? Where's your candle? Up or down? Don't look down. Don't look down. Don't look down. Shout out to Nick. But let's see. I just want to check on chat here. Make sure I am not leaving anything unread here. Yo, you guys are wild. But let's see. XRP is a sleeping giant. Let's see. I don't think I missed anything. Let's see. Bada boom. Let's see. Someone have XRP. I need to take a screenshot. Hey, let me cover some of these super chats real quick before we jump into Ethereum. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He said, yeah, they are real. This is why you watch the Y-Files. all praise Lord Hecklefish. Seriously, the Y-Files on YouTube. Hashtag Dave Digital. Hashtag it's real. Shout out to Creighton C. And shout out to Wick589 said, hey, so I need to know, aliens, are they real? This is sparked the whole alien conversation. Aliens, are they real? Probably not. Too far away for us to interact with. Or are they here now? Definitely not. Aliens are definitely not here, guys. Definitely not here. I swear. And if they were here, I would have no idea about it. I'm absolutely clueless about it. I swear. Anyway, shout out to Creighton C. Said also, Tuesday is Goat Tales. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Said tune in if you're all fancy and have Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter. Shout out to Creighton C. Go check out Crypto Billy's Twitter space, Billy Goat Tales on X, the best space on the platform. Shout out to Crypto Billy. We love you, bro. Edward Diamond Hands, thank you for the super chat. Said on Coinbase Advance on the daily chart, do you think the gap in candles has any weight on where price could go? Seems to from past gaps I've seen. Interesting. Shout out to Edward Diamond Hands. The only gaps I ever really pay attention to is the Bitcoin CME future gaps, which obviously you can see right here. But other than that, I don't look at any other gaps. So I'd be curious Shout out to Edward Diamond Hands. I'll have to look into that. But for the most part, the only gaps I pay attention to are the CME gaps. But maybe, I don't even know. I'm not sure. Shout out to Edward Diamond Hands. You stumped Frankie Candles. Shout out to Edward Diamond Hands. Let's go. And shout out to Villa said, can you check SNS? Shout out to Villa. I will try to check SNS. Let me just write it down here and make an actual, I call them fiat notes. When you just don't have make sure I don't have any secret codes or seed phrases back here. When you got to write something on paper, I call it fiat, right? Just fiat notes. SNS. I got you. I will try to take a look at SNS for you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, shout out to Bodog. Thank you, bro. He said, get a coffee on me. Shout out to you, bro. I don't have coffee right now, but I will have one tomorrow, thanks to you. But I will take a sip of the Aztecian Cactus Moss Juice here real quick. And some people might say, oh, Frankie Candles finally got a healthier energy drink. Did he? Or did he just get the little powdered packets that you put in a water bottle? Nobody will ever know. We'll just call it pre-workout because you guys know I go to the gym every single day. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. And like I have been talking about, we are simply sitting in our volume profile range here where we deviated from that value area low, got back above it, shot up to the POC, back to the value area high, found the rejection on the value area high, broke down below the POC. The next level of support I would be paying attention to is definitely going to remain the same here. Again, as price action is absolutely brutal right now. Simply put, same levels we were looking at yesterday. Value area low sitting at $3,000, just sitting right here. This is, if we come down here, this is going to be an area where I would be willing to look for long positions. And again, be honest with you, there's really not much to look at today, guys. You break down below that value area low, we are going to be looking for that bigger move down to where, you guessed it, that same daily level we've been watching, sitting at 2642. But other than that, I will expect this range to get respected. And I wouldn't really expect too much crazy stuff unless we break this low. And then if we do break the high here, which, again, like there's no real significant signal that we're about to rip up. But if we were to do that, still kind of have like not really. But if we do push back up to the high of the range and we flip this purple box to support, which is sitting at 3240, this is what would open the door to higher prices on Ethereum, in my opinion, just simply based off the fact that it is the macro value area low from that earlier bull market, coming up here from our last little high that we made up here at about, what is going on right now? Why am I so lost on price action? Yeah, I don't know why that looks so much like it's like I've been looking at this top so much that it's like I'm looking at it as a macro top like the 2021. But obviously this is just coming from a macro range above. And obviously once we get come on, get off my chart brushes. There we go. Once we get back above that value area low, that is what will open the door to get back into our upper range where we can then again target that POC in the value area high and potentially break our yearly highs to go to higher prices. But until then, guys, we are simply stuck in these ranges. Absolutely brutal, especially for a crypto YouTuber. But anyway, is Mrs. Candles lurking outside the door right now? Mrs. Candles? Mrs. Candles? Oh, my God. Mrs. Candles is on the floor. Say hi, Mrs. Candles. Say hi. Come on. Oh, God. Smells like rubber. I don't know why. But anyway, shout out to Dan D. Let's go ahead and continue on, guys. That's Ethereum. Nothing really too much to look at there. But let's go ahead and continue on. I never took a sip of the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water, so I'll take another little sip. Woo! All right. Shout out to Crypto Sniper. There's some Mrs. Candle's hands. Let's go. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Rubber. Whoa. Shout out to Bitfrog. Creepy hand from behind. What would you guys do? Just like hands came behind me and just started like touching my face. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys, and take a look at let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Rob the Crypto Snob, I think, is still counting up the votes. No big deal there. But let's go ahead and... Okay, yeah, I think Rob's still counting up the votes. But he says that's why... Rob the Crypto says that's why we fought a losing war against the Spanish for 80 years. We were down, to only one city. Shout out to Rob. Yo, Rob said show Eve. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. We are aliens. I would probably agree with that. Okay, shout out to Baller. While we are waiting for the altcoins, he says, hey, Frankie, love your content. What do you think of Free Bank? Let me see if I can pull up. There she is. There's Mrs. Candles. Can you come here and show everybody that you have real hands and they're not rubber? Come on. Show me the real hands. Come on. Show the real hands. Come on. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right. Smelling like coconut tonight. Sorry. Mrs. Candles is embarrassed, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out Free Bank. What is it? FRBK. Let's go ahead and not on futures. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, this is the new Bitcoin, guys. This is going to 100K. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. Let me go ahead and see if I can take a look at this for you, brother. I don't know anything about this. Could be a scam. Could not be a scam, for all I know. But I will try. There's not too much information here. I mean, this thing is absolutely just screaming to the upside. Money flow crossover looking to cross over into the green on the 4-hour. Yeah, not a ton of price action here, but what I can do for you is we can pull up that VPVR. I'll give you some levels here. Shout out to shout out to the Mrs. Candles hands. Let's go. Yes, and Villa, SNS. I'll start with this and SNS, and then, there we go. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob coming in clutch with those altcoins. I'm going to go ahead and pin that. Hey, Rob, you are the only person that gets their comment pinned every single live stream. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you for your service. But anyway, let's see. Yo, you guys are too much. But let me go ahead and take a look here, right? So again, not too much information to look at here. It's like not a lot of price action. We basically just ranged around here, at least on this chart. I assume this is like the inception. So you just kind of have this range. We're clearly getting a big breakout here. But again, it's kind of hard to analyze these big moves up because there's just nothing but impulse, right? But what I could do here is try to pull up some key levels for you. Let me go ahead and let's change that to 30, change this to 6. Okay, and let's go ahead and pull up the daily. And that's not going to work. I'll just use the regular. Okay, so let me pull up the weekly here. Yeah, there's not a lot of information here, to be honest with you. But I'll try my best to give you some key levels, right? So this is definitely going to be a key level here. I mean, you're pretty far away from this at this point. Like, I don't even really know how like realistic it is that you come back down there. But come back over to the daily. You also have another key level. Now, this is on the current daily candle, so this is not going to be, this is not confirmed. It won't confirm until the daily candle closes. So with that being said, it's really the only key naked point of control I can give you here are these two weeklies sitting at, number one, 0.0308 and then 0.0203. And then other than that, I can really only give, I mean, we could pull the volume profile, but it's like, I don't know if you're going to come all the way back down there. You definitely could. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Let me pull that back before the breakout. So yeah, definitely going to be a key zone of support sitting right here. Again, I don't know if you come back down there, but if you were to, this is just the only tangible price action I have, sitting right here between 0.034 and 0.030. Going to be a key level. You have a value area high with a weekly naked point of control. And sometimes, even when you get the big breakouts, you do like to go back down and test that at some point. I wouldn't really necessarily expect like something like that. Usually it takes a little bit of time to get all the way back down there. But again, I don't know if you're ever going to come back down here, or at least anytime soon. But what I can do is I could give you some local levels here, right? So let me pull up that VRVP, or the VPVR as I like to say. So I would say this, right? If you pull, I will go ahead and pull your fib right here. This is definitely more tangible than the levels I just gave you. This is a wonked out range. I wouldn't necessarily look at that. But if you look right here, high volume node right on your golden pocket here, which is not uncommon. But this is going to be a level of support. If you lose this, I would definitely be looking down towards your 786, which is just kind of natural here. And then this is definitely also going to be a very key level. I'm surprised there was no MPOC here. But this would also be, this might be a more significant golden pocket, if I'm being honest. If I come up to a higher time frame here, and we pull this to a significant low, maybe this low or even this low. Let's see here. Come on, VPVR. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so not really. But I would generally just look at this high volume node. Come on, there we go. Right here, this could be another key level. And I know this is hard, right? You can't really analyze price that's just screaming to the upside. I like to wait for consolidation, but these would definitely be the key levels that I'm looking at, right? So right here, between this value area high and POC, this high volume node sitting right here, between 0.08 and 0.06, definitely going to be key. And then the golden pocket 786 are your local levels. If you really get the meltdown and you lose this value area low, very likely you come all the way back down to your macro. Come on. Come on. Come on. No? Don't want to work? Come on. There you go. Okay. This is all wonked out now. But let me come up to a higher time frame. Yeah, kind of hard to analyze something with so little price action. And I do not want this. Got to pull this to here. There we go, right? So if you lose that 786, I would be looking down towards this zone right here. You lose that, I'd look down to the value area high, and there you go. That's what I'd be looking at on FreeBank. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole right now. I would let price action figure itself out. This is not where I enter trades, right? I would need to get some kind of consolidation here, right? If you started ranging here, that's where I would analyze the range, figure out what I want to do, look for the longs, look for the shorts, etc. But right now, this is definitely in a no-trade zone for me. If I did not get into a long here, I am not necessarily looking to hop into rush into any trade here. So there you go. Shout out to Baller, said, thank you very much, Frankie. I guess you're the one that asked for FreeBank. Now, shout out to Baller. I appreciate you, bro. Anytime, I got your back, brother. And then real quick, shout out to Softshell. Says, don't forget to smash that like button, guys. If we get 550 likes on this live stream, I might have to up it. If we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, I'll give away 4 Frankie Candles hats instead of 3. I feel like maybe we'll get there, but we have a huge giveaway to do on Friday, so I got to be careful. We don't wind up giving away everything. Shout out to Villa, though. Villa wants to see SNS. I will jump into that, and then we'll jump into our actual list. Let me just go ahead and take a quick look at SNS. Hopefully it's whoops. There we go. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know which one it would be. Let's see. Shout out to Villa. Let me know which SNS you want to see. Is it Sonoris or is it I don't even know what the heck that says. Okay, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. I think that's the quickest I've ever asked someone in chat something and seen a response. But let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, shout out to Elite Ways EZ. Says 250 likes or so to go. Smash up that like button if you want more free Frankie Candles hats. But let's go ahead and take a look here at SNS. And this is actually kind of indicative of, yeah, this actually, let me see something real quick. Let me just do some analysis here. Okay. So what I would be looking at here is obviously you kind of have your 2 major ranges, right? You kind of have this value area sitting right here, and then you have your lower value area sitting right here. It's kind of reminds me of Ethereum, right? Value area, right? So very similar to Ethereum. So I will just mark that out really quickly for you guys. Bada boom. Bada bing. Right? And this, yeah, this range, let me come down to like a 4-hour. This is, ew, brother, ew. I don't know. Yeah, this is not the prettiest range, right? Like I wish. Yeah, I mean, nonetheless, these are the profiles. Or maybe I would also potentially, I mean, this is all wonked out. This is like, maybe you rejected this value area low. Yeah. So this is kind of, and I know this is like wonked out. Like this is like, people are probably like, how did he find that, right? And this is like, a lot of people always ask me, Frankie, where do you pull your volume profiles from? And I will be honest with you guys, the way I do it is much more of an art than it is a science. And, you know, easily explained, I pull the range, I pull the volume profiles on sideways price action. And oftentimes, if you do that, those levels will get respected, right? Whether you're looking at this sideways range or this sideways range, right? Or this sideways range, oftentimes they are respected, right? And I was just able to easily see here that this volume profile, this value area low was likely the thing that we rejected right here. And you can see it is, right? Nothing rejects for no reason. You can see it was also respected here. The value area high was respected right here. And the value area here trades exactly as you would expect it to. You break above the value area low, you go to the high, deviate from the high, back to the low, you lose the low, bearish retest, breakdown. So you're just seeing things play out as you would expect, right? So I would actually keep an eye on this. It's a little tricky because you do have kind of have like these two ranges, right? And I know this is a little bit weird looking, but this is just kind of a weird looking chart, to be honest with you. So you kind of have a little value area down here. You broke out, played around in here, broke back down into the lower range. Now you broke back out. Key level of resistance is very clear here, right? It is going to be this value area low. And I would actually mark this as a value area low, and actually I would just change this to doorway to 0.089, right? Because it's the doorway to higher prices, but specifically, once you break above this level and hold it as support and get above the POC, it's going to be the doorway to this value area high. So key resistance is definitely where you rejected here, sitting at 0.075. Key support at this point is 0.065, sitting at the previous value area high of the range here. Go ahead and mark that out so you can take a look at it or screenshot it if you want. But yeah, in order to get a move back up, you got to get above this value. You're kind of in no man's land, to be quite honest with you. So in order to get a bigger move up, you got to crack this value area low. And then in order to get a bigger move down, you got to get accepted back into this range, in which case could cause a pretty big drop down to 0.052. Which is the POC of the lower range. So these are definitely the key levels I would be looking at. And then other than that, let's check market cipher really quickly here. Take a look at the daily. Yeah, I mean, money flow in the red. VWAP starting to top out here. So 16-hour money flow crossing into the green. Of course, that's completely chopped up and unclear as the rest of the market is. 12-hour green money flow crossover. Looking for a red dot on the 10. I mean, this thing's chopped up. I would be paying attention to the key levels, and there you go. Those are them. So let me just mark that out with a horizontal line, and there you go. If you want to screenshot these, you sure can. So there you go. There's SNS. Shout out to some with a V. Valley? Shout out to you, bro. Hopefully that helps you out. Gives you the key levels and gives you a little bit of context into where price may go next. So there you go. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and check out our next altcoin, which is going to be Solana, or Solana, as some people call her, or Solonzo, as our boy James Kramer might say. Shout out to Villa, says, thank you, Frankie. Shout out to Villa. I actually did show you a little extra love there because I'm almost positive the last time you super chatted, and I do want to be clear, super chats for altcoins do not guarantee we look at them. Obviously, I would love to look at them, but we would, if we did that, we would have to be here forever, right? But I do remember you super chatting, I believe, another altcoin, and we never got to it. And I tried to show it on the fake out, but I think you left. So I did show you a little extra love. Find me another YouTuber that will remember that kind of stuff. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Gab. I don't know the whole name. I can't see it, but it says, I think it's Gab says crow with knife. I don't even know what that means. Is that a coin? Shout out to, or I don't know. Shout out to you, though. But let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look at our boy, Solana. I actually feel like Solana's probably a girl. I don't know why. Solana. It sounds like very, I don't know. It sounds like a hot girl. Mrs. Candle's in the chat. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. And to be honest with you guys, very similar situation as Bitcoin. And not only that, oh, man. This is a boring market right now, guys. This is the same Solana chart we looked at yesterday. But I will say this. Very similar to Bitcoin, does look like we could potentially form some kind of a head and shoulders, especially inverse head and shoulders, obviously, especially if we do come down to that value area low. So the key levels remain exactly the same as we looked at last time we looked at Solana, right? Because nothing has happened. But if we do get a pullback here, I would be looking at this blue zone as a support level. Value area low at 133, POC at 141. And other than that, I mean, even if you drew this neckline, right, from the neckline to the low here, pull that measured move, is it going to bring us back up to the highs? Well, it does. Almost identical to Bitcoin. Even you don't expect these measure moves to play out to the dollar, but even on Bitcoin, it got us just a tick over that all-time high. So very, very similar to what we're seeing on Bitcoin with that inverse head and shoulders. So let me go ahead and pull up Market Cipher really quickly. And I mean, you do have the money flow crossover into the green on the 10-hour. And now let's go over to the daily, which will probably just confuse everybody. Fresh money flow crossover into the green on the 10-hour. And your daily money flow is coming out with your VWAP coming down, which is bearish, and saying almost the exact opposite of that 10-hour time frame. Chopped up charts, guys. Chopped up charts right now. But one thing is for sure, we could potentially form this inverse head and shoulders, and that would be more bullish than it is bearish. And not only that, if we did come down there, it would hit that value area low, which is typically where we're looking for longs anyway. So I would be on the lookout for something like this. Take a look at the daily. Again, and I mean, to be quite honest, if we are going to get money flow fake outs on the daily, this actually doesn't look bad, right? Because maybe that VWAP crosses over, gives us the red dot, money flow crosses into the red, gives us that panic pullback. Everyone's calling for zero. Remember what I said? You want to figure out what would wreck the most people. And in my opinion, it's going to be, oh my God, pullback, money flow in the red, VWAP crossing over, red dot. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Even if we slip the value area a little bit, could just complete that head and shoulders, get a bullish confirmation at that value area low for a move back up to the value area high, which would be the measured move of that inverse head and shoulders. Pretty cool to see all that kind of line up to the same thing. But again, this is all reliant on a money flow fake out into the red here on the daily, just like Bitcoin. So be careful out there if you guys are trading right now. Please use a stop loss, and please do not rush into any trades that are just random. Make sure you have the confirmations. Make sure the trades are actually there before you take them. But that is what I'd be looking at on Solana. And real quick, I do just want to pull up. Yeah, we are hitting the daily smart trail on Lux Algo, right? So this would be pretty strong resistance, guys. Typically with these smart trails, I talk about this a lot. Once you get there are other specific things I like to see before just entering along on the smart trail, obviously. But typically when we are above these smart trails, it is off into the races, right? Even when you pull back into them, oftentimes you find support, right? Support, right? Support. Even here, you wick right down into it before you got another bounce to the upside, and now you're just simply seeing the same thing, but in the opposite direction. Now, another thing to realize here is we do have that daily bullish divergence right here, beautifully marked out on the Lux Algo Oscillator Matrix with our lower lows on price action. Now, this would have been a beautiful way to find a nice little long trade as you were deviating below this volume profile, seeing that bullish divergence. I would like to see some other confirmations as well, but simply put, you come down to the value area low, put in the lower lows on price action, higher lows on your oscillator. Lux Algo makes it super easy just to mark it out, and then you get a bounce right back into the range. And at this point, guys, what I would be expecting is a bounce back into the range, a potential retest of the value area low, right? Because that's what we like to see. We go come back in, test it as support, and then you get the bigger move up. That would complete your head and shoulders, and it would be in line with the value area. And then hopefully you could see this daily smart trail flip into a blue smart trail acting as support. And that would be kind of what I would be looking at, because typically these daily smart trails are going to be a little bit turbulent here. These are strong levels of support and resistance, as you can see from the bullish smart trail. Pretty, self-explanatory here, right? You get the bounces. This is simply just going to behave the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get the rejection here, but just be aware that the context of this rejection off that smart trail is the fact that you have a confirmed bullish divergence. And if you do come back down to that value area low, right? It's all about context. Strong resistance. Could we dump? Sure. Even on Market Cipher, money flow is coming out, right? And even on Lux Algo as well, money flow is coming out. But resistance here, pullback, don't let it freak you out too much because, again, context is king. You have a confirmed bullish divergence here, which oftentimes does give you a significant move to the upside. I would not consider this too significant. So this is kind of like a little step-by-step guide. And again, this is not guaranteed to play out, but I would not be surprised if we see a little pullback here to potentially, if we do, and we get that head and shoulders, that inverse head and shoulders, that would potentially give us a little clarity on where Solana may go next. So there you go. That is definitely... that is exactly what I'd be looking at on Solana. Shout out to Lux Algo. If you guys want to sign up for Lux Algo and check out some of their premium indicators like you see here on the chart, go ahead and check that link in the description down below. Shout out to Lux Algo. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little rejection here. But let's go ahead and continue on. I'm actually feel pretty good about that analysis on Solana. A lot of things kind of lining up for that. I'm not going to lie, man. These inverse head and shoulders, it's not just that they're looking to form. It's the fact that they could be forming at these beautiful, beautiful key levels. Could make for a good fake out, honestly. Like, even if we were not in the area of the cycle we're at right now, I would still be looking at this being like, I don't know. Like, it looks like you might just fake out one more time and bounce again. So very, very interesting. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says, bing bong. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to you, bro. What is going on? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Skull. Says the Grays are my favorite. Shout out to Skull. I'm not an alien, guys. I swear. I'm not an alien. I swear. Don't rat me out to the Govs. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on and check out ICUP. I actually didn't mean to type that. I was just joking. But let's go ahead and check out ICP. Clear up the chart here. This is not our ICP chart. This is not our ICP chart. Come on. What happened? I think we lost the ICP chart, guys. I think, yeah, I don't know what happened to my ICP chart. We're going to have to create an entirely new chart here. It's the MEXC chart. No, it's not. It's, yeah, I guess we just don't have a, let's see. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and clear up a lot of this, and I'll just make a new chart. Let's be real. Okay. So, is this? Yeah, I guess this is it. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Right. So obviously, we have this kind of weird consolidation up here. Not quite a bull pennant. Not quite a bull flag. Just kind of sideways consolidation, right? And we do have, actually, I'm going to pull this here. Yeah, so we have a nice kind of clean range here. So this will definitely be what I'm looking at as far as key levels, right? Let me see. Bada boom. Okay, so right now, I would really just be looking at this range, right? As we've been looking at for one more time. 131 days. Is that right? Is that actually right? 131 days. Yeah, this is brutal, man. This is absolutely... Why do I feel like that's wrong? But anyway, I would definitely be looking at this. We are losing this golden pocket PLC confluence, guys. So, not only does losing that PLC make me anticipate the value area low, but once you lose the golden pocket, you're kind of anticipating the 786 anyway. So, unless we get some kind of a random bounce in here, I will say I do think it's somewhat likely to get a move back down to the value area low 786, in which case I would probably be looking for some potential long positions. Kind of hard to say with how chopped up the charts are right now, but this would definitely be the key levels. I mean, I really would not be surprised if we see this value area low 786, just because, again, losing the POC makes you anticipate the low. Losing the golden pocket makes you anticipate the 786. So simply put, these would definitely be the levels I would watch. So if I go ahead and make that neutral, right, and then you have your value area high, your POC, and your value area low. So that is what I would be looking at. Take a look at the naked points of control really, really, really quickly, because I just want to see if there are any seriously significant levels here. Do have a weekly naked right here, but when you're that close to the value area low, I don't know if I'd really take that into serious consideration. Let me just change some settings here really quickly. Bada boom. Yeah. I don't even know if I would take those. Let me see the dailies real quick. How many daily? I'm looking for levels in here. Just nothing. I would pay attention, to be quite honest with you. What I would pay attention to are the points of control, or the naked points of control, right here and here. So weekly naked, right? So if we wind up breaking down here and we slip that value area low, these are definitely going to be very important levels to watch, in my opinion, right? Especially if you're slipping that value area low, everybody's getting scared. You may just slip, deviate, tap some of these levels, reclaim, big move up. And I would actually also, this is not a weekly. I apologize. These are daily naked points of controls, guys. Sorry about that. Got to make sure we give the most accurate information to the Mafia. We don't want any of that fugazi info here. We only do the real deal on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. So there you go. These would definitely be the key levels I would pay attention to, right? So you have your daily naked. Let me just move this, right? So I would definitely watch this. Daily naked point of control sitting at 893 and 972. These would be key if we lose this value area low 786, right? Everyone's panicking. We know these are key levels. So I'm not saying that this could easily give you, like, it could give you the big bounce, right? But what I would really be cautious of here, or what I'd be looking for down here are at least, right, scalp longs, right? But if Market Ciphers decides to, like, roll back around and give some, maybe give some signs that fake out on the daily money flow is likely, then maybe we can, look to turn this from a little scalp back up to the value area low to a bigger move, flip that value area low to support, and then move back up to the range high and potentially beyond, right? But we have to wait for price to get down there, if it's even going to get down there, to analyze what price action looks like when we get down there. What are the indicators saying? What is money flow saying? What is Lux Algo saying? What is the decision that needs to be made down here? Because, trading is not as simple as getting a move down to a key level and longing, right? It's just simply not that simple. You could do it, but likely you'll lose money, right? You have to analyze what is going on as you tap the level. That's why I always say set your trap, sit on your hands, wait for price to enter your trap, which is your key level, and then analyze those price actions. Look for those specific confirmations to get into the trade, and then you can analyze what the context of your trading idea would be based off of what price action looks like at that moment. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on ICP. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. People talk about moon pies in the chat. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. That was ICP. Now let's go ahead and check out ICP's cousin, INJ. I don't know why I said they were cousins. INJ, ICP, I don't know. Let's take a look at INJ. We actually haven't taken a look at Injective in some time here. Well, hot dang. I mean, shout out to not looking at INJ for a long time. I guess last time we were looking at INJ, we were looking at this 786 retracement. And, I mean, to be honest, guys, it's been a long time since we looked at INJ. And, we're now just, sitting at the 786. This just goes to show how boring things are. But here we are at the 786. This would be significant, to be quite honest with you, right? We came down to that golden pocket as we deviated below the value area, got the nice bounce that you would expect, but we couldn't hold that range, lost that golden pocket. Where's the next stop? Likely going to be that 786. Obviously, you did come down, I assume, to tap the value area high or the POC of this range. And we could just go ahead and put that to the test here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. Let's see. Was it the POC? It was not. It was the value area high, right? Nothing bounces for no reason, guys. Nothing bounces for no reason. So there you go. Quick wick down, tap on the value area high, previous value area high, and then now we are kind of trying to reclaim this 786. So yeah, let me pull up Market Cipher really quick. Bada boom. Yeah, weekly green dot. I mean, this is a pretty significant 786. It definitely wasn't pulled on. It was probably pulled on the daily. Let me move that. Yeah, actually, I don't know. It must have snapped up a little bit. It should be from this wick here, which makes a little bit more sense, right? Because we are sitting right on top of that level. So that is what I would be looking at. Bada boom, right? If we hold on top of this 786, I'll be honest with you guys, we lose this 786, probably going to be a quicker move down, right? Look at this gap. There's a reason why you absolutely flew to that value area high sitting right here, right? There's a reason you flew all the way down there. Look at the volume gap, right? These volume gaps can be quite lucrative if you could spot them and understand how to trade them, right? Because you would know, and again, this is easier to say in hindsight, right? Like when you're seeing price just absolutely tank, it's a lot harder to make the actual decision. But when you can see here, like even on the 4 hour, right? Like this was a very quick candle. You just wicked all the way down there. And that is because, come up to a higher time frame, you simply look at the volume gap. Come on, profile. There we go. Look at that gap. Once you lose that 786, very likely you would expect that quick move through that low volume gap. And where are you looking to bounce? Well, if you knew the value area high was sitting here, you would see that. But where's your next significant shelf of volume? I'll give you a hint. Right here. Look at the size of that high volume node. So very quickly you start to understand, like, hey, I see a huge gap here, right? Like even in current price action, right? When you're coming down here, let me turn off these levels. Boom, boom, boom. Right? When you see these levels, right, you're looking at this and you're like, hey, if we don't hold this 786, very likely we are going to fall into this gap and get a quick move down. And this is where we always say, quick move up oftentimes results in a quick move down, right? And sure enough, obviously, that is what wound up happening. So the next step here for INJ, in my opinion, would have to be, go ahead and hide this, we must get above this high volume node, right? So this is somewhat of a, this is a pretty important level here. Right? You got to get above this POC and ideally above this value area. You really want to flip the golden pocket, to be honest. Because you want to get out of this range here, above that golden pocket. I mean, yeah, you got some work to do here on INJ, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to get rid of this golden pocket as, we'll just keep the 786 here because we know what that is. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, you really just got to make your way back up to this previous range, which is your value area low sitting at 33.82. And then your key levels below. I mean, this is definitely a key level. Look at the size of this high volume node. And again, if you come back down here, I would not be shocked if you get another quick move down to this value area low. You start value area high. You start breaking below this, probably going to start bing-bonging around back in this range, right? But other than that, like you really need to start getting above this high volume node. Maybe even this, right? Like I would mark out this little high volume node, right? Little low volume node, I guess. You get above here. That kind of opens up the room to come back up to your value area low from up here, sitting at 33.82. But yeah, those are definitely the key levels. Other than that, I mean, your 12-hour money flow is very wonky. I wouldn't even take anything away from that. 16-hour coming out, yeah, this is very indecisive. But those are definitely the key levels I'd be looking at on INJ. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Hangar 18 is full of holes for some reason. I'm not 100% sure what exactly that means. But let's go ahead. Our next altcoin is going to be XRP. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go ahead and shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat. Said if XRP was a person, it would be Saul Goodman, aka Jimmy McGill, in Breaking Bad / Better Call Saul. Interpret as you like. Shout out to Creighton C. I feel like when Creighton C super chats, he just takes over my body and he just speaks out of my mouth. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. And shout out to Better Call Saul. Let's go. Great show. I've never seen it, but I've heard great things. I'm not even kidding. I really have heard great things, and I actually have never watched it. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick look at XRP here as, let's take a look here. So On XRP, yeah, let me see here. XRP, is that what are we looking at? XRP? Okay. So XRP, I think, sorry guys, I can't keep my eyes open. Shout out to XRP. Do something, man. Do something, XRP. Please, for the love of God, do something. I don't care if you dump at this point. Here's the long setup that we gave for free on the YouTube live stream here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Still in play here. Still in play. Pretty freaky position, but definitely still in play here. I'm not in this trade. We just gave the setup. Not that you should ever take any setups that I put up here. This is all for entertainment and education education purposes only. But this is still technically in play, and as long as you remain above this value area low decisively, we could potentially expect this to get up to that golden pocket and value area high. This is why I say that I'm falling asleep with XRP. You know, we put this setup in here. I mean, it's almost a month we've been sitting here at the value area low. Like, are we going to finally fill that range? Sometimes these things take time, guys, but I will be quite honest with you. These levels remain exactly the same as nothing has happened here on XRP other than just boring sideways price action. Like I said, this is sometimes worse. This is literally sometimes worse than dumps, right? Like, it's just like, it's absolutely brutal. Am I alone? Put a 1 in the chat if you hate sideways price action other than the trading, right? Like, it can make for really nice trading, but in these uncertain market conditions right now, even the range trading is a little bit sus. But put a 1 in the chat if you hate this consolidation, you want Bitcoin to go up or down, you don't even care what direction it goes in. Spam those 1s in the chat if you are absolutely bored out of your mind with this stuff. But to be quite honest with you guys, nothing has really changed here on XRP. I mean, as we look at the weekly, I will say this. If I were actually in this trade, I would not be in a rush to close it just because of this weekly green dot that may be looking to print in the next 5 days and 2 hours, right? If we get that weekly green dot, in my opinion, it could be likely to get up to your value area high, N786, getting closer to 67 cents. But other than that, I mean, take a look at the 4-day. Green dot printing. This would also assist that move to the upside. 3-day green dot confirmed. But then you start taking a look at the daily. I mean, to me, this looks like, you know, what do you have here? High, lower high, lower high on your money flow. And now it is coming back down, right? You faked out into the red, faked out into the red. So this is, again, very mixed signals, you know, as far as the money flow goes and just where we are in the cycle, right? So I don't want to say it's like all rainbows and butterflies for XRP to hit this value area high because of the weekly green dot. You know, because if this daily rolls over and comes into a bigger red wave, we could expect a bigger dump. You know, I would definitely be using this volume profile as context. If that daily does wind up breaking us down and this setup that I'm not in, it winds up getting stopped out, you know, then we could look for a bigger move down. But until then, guys, I would not really expect anything too crazy at XRP until we break this value area low. And then other than that, it may just be a waiting game for a slow grind back up to here. Assuming that we just don't get that, you know, shot to the downside as the daily money flow points to, I would just be looking at this as a range. And I would probably find something else to trade in the meantime, while I wait for XRP to move. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for the altcoins tonight. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around to the end of the live stream. Don't forget to check out Frankie Candles Trading. Oh, I know why this isn't working. There we go. Don't forget to check out FrankieCandlesTrading.com if you guys want to get some free Frankie Candles. Hang on, hold up. They are not free. We're not just giving away all the hats. We will be giving away 4 Frankie Candles hats on the live stream on Friday. But go to FrankieCandlesTrading.com, guys. We have a ton of deals, all of our exchange deals, all of our indicator deals. If you guys are looking to save money, whether you're looking to save money on your trading fees, get free bonus funds to trade with so you can get into risk-free trades, or if you're just looking for discounts on your indicators, anything you see on the live stream, it's all stuff that I actually use and actually believe in. Market Cypher is a huge part of my analysis. Lux Algo is a huge part of my analysis, and we love the team over at Lux Algo and what they're doing over there. We have you know, everything just aligned. So check out the website, guys, FrankieCandlesTrading.com for all those deals. And you can also get a link to the premium Discord if you guys are interested in that. But until next time, Bitcoin, do something. That's all I got. Hasta pasta, Mafia. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you not kidding me. You done got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
What the heck up is with my speech? What the heck is up with the music just randomly muting like that? That's so embarrassing, guys. I feel like I went out on stage to sing with I gotta be careful with the it's like I came out on stage to sing and my microphone was off. But here we are, guys. I want to take a quick look at Matic here. I don't know. I was sitting behind the scenes here trying to figure out what I was going to do for the fake out, and I figured, hey, let's take a look at Matic. I just clicked a random altcoin here. It happened to be Matic, and I looked at it, and I was like, look at the volume profiles just getting respected here. Bing bong around in this range. Deviate from the low, flip the low to support, back up to the high, breakout, back into our next range, up to the high, back to the low. I just want to show you guys how reliable these volume profiles can be. Looking to trade them from the highs to the lows and from the lows to the highs, whether you're looking at one range or multiple ranges. And then as I'm looking at Matic here, we are actually getting a little bit of a dump ski as we speak. And I will just use that for a little quick lesson to talk about why I don't necessarily always like to trade patterns alone, and this is actually a pretty good no, I guess this isn't a really good example. I was going to say this is like a bull pennant. It really is more of like a rising wedge, which would be bearish, but you can see we actually exploded up and then faked out back to the downside. This is why I don't trade patterns, right? Or at least alone. Because no matter what you're looking at this as, you would have been chopped up, right, if you were just going off the pattern. Rising wedge would have expected this to break down. It absolutely yeeted to the upside, right? So you would have gotten wrecked on a short. And then if you were looking at this on a bull pennant, you would have been pretty good on the long for a minute, and then you would have been absolutely wrecked. And this is why I don't trade patterns alone, because oftentimes there are fake outs, especially in crypto, with something as manipulated as crypto, and just something with as much leverage in the market as crypto. These big fake outs and weird wonky moves are very, very likely. That is why I like to use things such as order flow to actually see inside the candle and figure out what exactly is going on in on the price action. And how am I going to do it fully? But you can look here at the order flow to actually figure out. I mean, I wouldn't look at the 5-minute. I would probably look at something like the 30-minute to actually figure out what the heck is going on within the price action to figure out the likelihood of getting the actual pattern to play out in the way that you think it's going to go. Right? Because you can have all the bull pennants you want in the world. If the price, the momentum's not going to the upside, it's not going to pump, right? Just because it's in the pattern. And this is why I look at those. That's why I like to look at the order flow to figure out what is going on, right? And like this obviously allows you to see things such as liquidations. Was this mostly liquidations? Was it actual buying pressure? You can actually look into this stuff to figure out what is going on within the price action, and can really help you stay out of fake outs of patterns like you see here. You kind of got depending on how you looked at this, one thing I know is this wrecked a lot of traders, right? So whether you were looking at this as a bearish or a bullish pattern, it completely just wonked out and decided to do whatever the heck it wanted to. And there's really, in my opinion, no way to really figure that out unless you're looking at something like exo charts. Yeah, obviously, there we go, right down, tapping that value area low to the dollar here, guys, on Bitcoin, as we did get a little bit of a pop to the downside. Is this the start of that formation of that head and shoulders, or that inverse head and shoulders? Like I said, guys, we lose that value area low. This golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement is our last line of defense. We lose that, we are very likely going to 51, 52K. But if we can come down, hold these as support, or maybe not even get to them, right? Maybe we come up to some more local levels to form that right shoulder for a reclaim of the value area low and a bigger move up. This is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin moving into the next day or so. And yeah, if something changes, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Check out frankcandlesradio.com. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the